That being said, this only worked in this one situation because the man had more than reasonable suspicion, more than enough motive but they were bordering on enough to get a warrant. The lady was like, look, that's him. This is the guy. And not only that, the lady had heard that it was him. She spotted his car. So the point is, this is one case of one individual that they found and basically knew that he was a criminal. I mean, they didn't just tap everybody's phones until they found the guy. That's not what happened. They found the guy through detective work, through police work, and then tapped his phone to get evidence. In that one situation, they violated that man's privacy because they had they had suspicion, probable cause, the guy was a criminal. I mean, the victim was like, that's him. So of course this judge was like, that's not basis for you to spy on the entire country. And the judge ruled a preliminary injunction, meaning that he didn't force the government to stop, but the ruling will be enforceable until it's appealed. So he didn't force them to stop immediately, but he could have. And so what is happening is the government will end up challenging this ruling, and it will go higher. And that's really a fantastic thing that you've got this federal judge who's standing up for individual rights. I mean, he said records that once would have been revealed, a few scattered bulk telephoning metadata program have so many significant distinctions between them that I cannot possibly navigate these uncharted Fourth Amendment waters using as my North Star a case that predates the rise of cell phones. Now, Leon, the judge, people are saying that his argument doesn't count if the Smith case did not include sweeping language that basically seems to say that the Fourth Amendment challenges to government collection is unwarranted. Because the justices in that case said, this court consistently has held that a person has no legitimate expectation of privacy and information he voluntarily turns over to third parties. So basically, anytime you use your cell phone, your computer, Facebook, Twitter, that you don't have an expectation of privacy. And that's a huge problem for obvious reasons, because you've got third parties coming in. I mean, the Facebook app on your cell phone or your tablet or whatever, Facebook application says that it can activate your microphone or video at any time for any reason. And that's part of the agreement you have to accept to use that application. Now, why in the hell would Facebook need to turn on your video camera or microphone on your phone or your GPS nav to find your location at any time without your consent? I want my Facebook app to ask me for permission every time that happens. I want it to ask me. I don't want it to automatically pull my information. I deleted that thing off my phone immediately once I found that out. I deleted it immediately. But the point is, we now live in a world where privacy rights are going out the window. And it's not something Facebook is run by left-wing loons, which we know to be the case with conservative pages being removed and things of that nature. But I feel like there's room here for an app to block the use of microphone, camera, and GPS from other applications. A Windows firewall type thing, so to speak. I feel like there's room for this, and I feel like it's something we should be able to get, but for whatever reason we're not seeing it. That's something that needs to happen. Now we're going to take a little bit of a break here. When we come back, I want to talk about this Duck Dynasty situation, so to speak. It's very unique in that it's causing a huge stink and it's messing with something I really like. So we'll talk about that when we get back.
DLR.
Alrighty, folks. Now, I had some other stuff planned, but you know how I am. I've got my hours are weird, and so I wake up, right before the show, about an hour before the show, and I check with the news and I look around to see what is going on exactly. so I can, obviously if there's new information I need to know to bring to you folks, I can do that. Now, the big sort of story of the evening is Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty, the hit TV show that we all know and love. And if you don't know it or love it, you're an idiot. It's a fantastic TV show, even if you're not country, even if you're not a redneck. It's just really funny. It's a good show. Even my very city loving urban friends like Duck Dynasty. I've got a couple of friends that you would never ever catch out in the woods, and they love Duck Dynasty. So, that's obviously just a few instances, but seriously, it's just a great show, and it's unique. But Phil Robertson, the Duck Commander, the guy who started this multi-million-dollar business by inventing the new method of duck call. He's a capitalist in the best sense. You've got duck call companies out the wazoo for years and years and years, well established. And this guy out in the woods just cuts wood off of trees in the swamp on his land and creates duck calls out of that wood in a shack. And it turns into a multi-million-dollar business. Now his sons run it. That's a fantastic deal he's got there. It's anyways, that's Phil Robertson. And he's very religious. His family, very Christian. They end the show with their prayer at dinner. And he had an interview with GQ magazine, and he talked about some stuff that people are not very happy about. And by people, I mean liberals. Conservatives, they don't really mind it so much. But we're going to talk about it. In a nutshell, Phil said he cannot understand the logic of choosing a man's anus over a woman's vagina. Very blunt. If you've seen the show, you understand, and you're probably laughing right now. I laughed when I read the line myself, because I see the logic, but I see the logic of choosing a woman, and it's just a really funny way to put it. But anyways, he went on. He said, I'm looking through the interview here. I want to get his statement correct. He goes, we've gotten to a point in our society where everything is blurred on what's right and what's wrong, and that's how sin suddenly becomes fine. He says, start with homosexual behavior and just morph out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and those men. And then the TV star went on to quote Corinthians, says, don't be deceived, neither the adulterers, the idolaters, the male prostitutes, the homosexual offenders, the greedy, the drunkards, the slanderers, the swindlers, they won't inherit the kingdom of God. Don't deceive yourself, it's not right. And then he said, he was confused because he doesn't understand why a man would ever desire a man when a woman has more to offer. He says, quote, it seems like to me a vagina as a man would be more desirable than a man's anus. That's just me. I'm just thinking there's more there. She's got more to offer. Come on, dudes. You know what I'm saying? But hey, sin, it's not logical, my man. It's just not logical. And then he went on to say, this is important, it's not his job to judge someone on who's going to heaven or hell, because that's the Almighty's job. And he has since released a statement saying about this whole debacle